He's seized upon by Beardsley.
Four one six 317 5777. Okay, so the weekend just ended, and then we are back to our normal business, and there were some interesting games over the weekend. If you had time to watch some of the games, you bear with me that yes, there were some very interesting games. Some of the games went in favor of some of the fans, some didn't go in favor of the fans. So depending on which side of the coin you belong to, you may have been rejoicing during the weekend, but some people may have had a very bad weekend. I, as a Chelsea fan, as some of you may know, it wasn't a good weekend for me simply because my team didn't get the 3 maximum points. But we live to fight again because the season just began. We have just 4 games into the season and we have about 34 games to go. So you never know where it's going to go, even though I'm rooting for my team, Chelsea, to win this season's Premier League. All right, so we are going to look at the results, some of the results that happened over the weekend. And if you watch the previous episode, you realize that I gave some predictions. Some of them, I'll say majority of them, did come true, but some of them didn't go as I expected. And that's soccer for you. You can never tell. And the first game, we're going to look at the Premier League first, which is the hottest, arguably the hottest and the most competitive league. The first game, there was an early kickoff that was between Arsenal and then Nottingham Forest at the Emirates Stadium, and it ended in a 3-0 win for Arsenal. Personally, I couldn't get time to watch the game because it was very early in the morning, 7:30 a.m. here in North America, so I couldn't watch, but I watched some highlights after the game, and Arsenal are doing a very good job. Mikel Arteta and his boys, yes, with the inclusion of Noni Madueke, he has brought some life into the flanks. You have the new midfielder Martin Zubimendi, who is also he's proving me wrong, because I thought after they let Thomas Partey go, I didn't think Zubimendi was the right man to fill in for Thomas Partey. I thought it would take him a bit of time, but it seems he has settled in very well. And Nottingham Forest, I thought because they had a new manager, they will be giving us now some difficulty in there, but it seems it was a fair, easy win for Arsenal, where they won that game by 3-0, and there's nothing to say about that. Mikel Arteta got his tactics right on point, and for Ange Postecoglou, because it was his first game, I think he'll have to go back to the drawing board and see what he can do in the upcoming game. So Arsenal won that game by 3-0, and that sends Arsenal to second on the league log, right behind Liverpool with 9 points. There was also the Fulham versus Leeds game, which ended in a 1-0 win for Fulham. Yeah, I did predict Fulham was going to win that game, but I thought they were going to win by a bigger margin. They did win by 1-0, which was also a good game over there, which I couldn't get to watch that game. There was Aston Villa, which I also predicted to win in the previous episode. Everton against Aston Villa, but Everton couldn't win even after playing in their new stadium. One would think playing in the new stadium will give them the edge over Aston Villa, but Unai Emery and his boys came in with their own plan, and they were able to mastermind at least a point to take back home to Aston Villa. Crystal Palace, which I also thought they were going to win This was one of the shocking results for me over the weekend because I didn't see Sunderland having a chance in stopping Crystal Palace. Yes, Crystal Palace have been doing so well from the end of last season into this season. They have troubled the likes of Manchester City and then Liverpool even this season in the Community Shield. So I thought Crystal Palace, it was going to be a done deal for them, but they couldn't grind the result over there. That game ended in a stalemate 0-0. No one was able to score. And for FPL fans, yes, I had Munoz in there. He was able to keep a clean sheet. So even though the result didn't go the way of Crystal Palace, you have Munoz in there getting me a clean sheet, even though he got a card in that game. You also have Bournemouth and then Brighton, which I also predicted Bournemouth to win, and yes, they did win. Of course, they won by 2 goals to 1. A goal from the Ghanaian international Antoine Semenyo. That was a brilliant penalty kick. He has been on form this season so far. He has 3 goals and 2 assists to his name. I think if you check the log for goal involvement, he is, if I'm not wrong, I stand to be corrected, he is topping the log with 5. That is 2 assists and then 3 goals. 2 goals against Liverpool, 1 in here, and then 2 assists in the previous games. So Bournemouth, with the likes of Ivan Nelson and Cole, yes, they are doing a very good job over there. Their coach Andoni Ariola, the Spanish, infuses the Spanish way of playing in their style of play, and they are playing a very good and nice football over there, and they won that game by 2 goals to 1, which takes them to fourth on the table. Yes, so far they are fourth on the table. They are in the top 4 position, and let's see how it's going to be. Let's see what's going to happen in the next games. They have a very good record so far. Out of the 4 games played, they have 3 wins and then just 1 loss, and that loss was against Liverpool. So I am tipping Bournemouth to be one of the surprise teams for this season. Every season we have teams that come into surprise. Last season, yes, they did surprise us, but they couldn't make it into Europe. And looking at how they have started this season, I'll not be so surprised if they make it to Europe, even if it's not the top 4, that is for the Champions League. Now we even have 5 teams qualifying from England to the Champions League. So even if it's not the top 5 into the Champions League, they might make it into the Europa League or the Conference League. Let's see how that is going to go over there. There was also Newcastle winning at the against Wolves over there. Newcastle, I predicted a huge win for Newcastle. Unfortunately, they couldn't win huge in that game, but they still managed to win that game by a lone goal. A goal scored by the new striker Walter Made from Stuttgart, and that was a brilliantly taken goal. I saw there was an in-swinger from the winger Eddie Murphy and Jacob Murphy, excuse me, and that was a well-connected header by Watimade over there. So Newcastle winning that game by 1 goal to 0. And then also there was the West Ham United versus the Tottenham Hotspur game, which ended in a win for Tottenham Hotspur. So Tottenham Hotspurs, I predicted, were going to win this game by 3 goals to 1, because I don't think West Ham United have the men. They don't have, with exception of Lucas Paqueta and then Jared Bowen, I don't see anyone in that West Ham team that was going to trouble Tottenham Hotspur. So they won the goal, and also there was a red card given to Thomas Fischer on the part of West Ham. So one might argue that maybe that contributed to Tottenham winning the game against West Ham. But before the game, I predicted Tottenham to win anyways, regardless of the opposing team getting a red card or not. And the Ghanaian international, as I predicted, he was booed throughout the match. Mohamed Kudus, he was booed throughout the match, but he was still able to stand his grounds, even though he didn't get involved in any of the goals by getting an assist or a goal, but you could see his work rate in that game. And then there was the Chelsea versus Brentford game. That was the late kickoff of the day for Saturday, and it ended in a 2-2 draw, in a stalemate 2-2. Both teams had to share the point in that game. Chelsea scored 2, with Brentford scoring 2 as well. So it started where Brentford came with a game plan, and yeah, remember, just for you to know, it was their coach's birthday, so the players were determined to give their coach a nice birthday package, but at least getting a draw against Chelsea. And because of the tag of world champions, so it seems every team that's playing against Chelsea will want to prove a point that yes, we are playing against the world champions, and then we are beating them, or at least we are getting a draw against them. And that was what happened in that game. So Brentford had to they scored first in that game, with Chelsea equalizing with the introduction of Cole Palmer. The first half wasn't so good for Chelsea because of the international break, because of the involvement of some of the players. Esteval was not on the team on that day, so he had to sit out because of a slight injury. And we all know Cole Palmer, who had an injury from the beginning of the season also, so he had to be on the bench, and he came in the somewhere in the second half. And so Chelsea didn't start with their regular or their starting 11. So the likes of, you had Wesley Fofana, who hasn't played the ball for quite a while now. He slotted in on the right hand side of Chelsea's defense. You had Adebayo, you also had Chalobah in the center, and then you had Jarrell Hato. So even though you could see a 4 back on paper, it was 3 back. So whenever Chelsea was attacking, you had Jarrell Hato joining the midfield, making it a 3-man midfield, and then packing up front. So because they had new personnel in the team, I guess that is why the likes of Jarrell Hato, Wesley Fofana, who hasn't played for a while now, and then the new Argentine international Buonanotte. Yes, Buonanotte also started that game. And because some of these players are new to the Chelsea system, the Enzo Maresca system, it's going to take time for them to adapt. It's going to take time for them to get the system. So the Brentford team took advantage of Chelsea, and then they got that early goal in there, and the game went into recess. When the teams came back, Enzo Maresca did his thing. He had to change 3 players, the likes of Marco Correa, the likes of the likes of Cole Palmer, and then there was one more other person. I think Tarek George also came in, and then they made that substitution in there, and boom, what a strike that was for Cole Palmer. His first goal in open play for quite a while now. He hasn't scored in open play in the Premier League for quite a while now. So Chelsea got the equalizer, and they kept pushing and pushing and pushing until that screamer from Moises Caicedo. What a screamer that was. Moises Caicedo is just known for scoring screamers like that. And for some time now, I used to ask myself, where are the likes of the Michael Essien, the Frank Lampards that used to shoot the ball back then in Chelsea? That was when I loved Chelsea so much, where they could strike the ball from midfield, they could hit the ball so well. And it seems Moises Caicedo is coming in with that style of play again, where he's able to strike the ball from far, and he's not just hitting the ball anywhere, but he's hitting the net as well. So that was he puts Chelsea ahead, I think somewhere in the 80th minute plus, and then from nowhere the Chelsea defense went to bed, and boom, there was an equalizer again from Brentford. So that game ended 2-2, and as a Chelsea fan, I wasn't happy so much. But we live to fight another day. Yes, at least if you look on the log, we are Chelsea. It's 5th on the log, and we have 100% record. Yes, it may seem as if we don't have most of the points, but we have 100. I mean, we are unbeaten as a team. We have won 2 games and then drawn 2 games. So we live to fight another day. There was also some games on Sunday on the 14th. That was just yesterday. There was Burnley against Liverpool, which I couldn't watch because I was in church, where Burnley got a red card. So there were two red cards over the weekend, and Liverpool, in the dying embers of the game, had to score. Yes, and that is the mark of champions. Champions don't have to win glamorously. They don't have to win by 6 goals, 7 goals, 8 goals. They don't have to play all the beautiful football. All you have to do is to force the situation. If you want to win the league, you force the situation. Even on days where you are not playing so good, you have to force the situation and then get the results. So Liverpool were able to grind the results. Somewhere in the dying embers of the game, they got a penalty. And as I said the last time, the evergreen Mohamed Salah, boy oh boy, your man is now, if you take the all-time top scorers, I think he falls fourth on the ladder. And by the time this season is done, if he's going to stay on for another season, I'm not going to be surprised if he overtakes the likes of Harry Kane and then eventually Alan Shearer. He is doing a very good work over there. So Liverpool won that game by 1-0 in the dying embers of the game, and that puts them on top of the Premier League with 4 games and then 4 wins. That is 100% record. No team is yet to beat them, but their next game is going to be a derby against Everton, David Moyes' Everton. And for some time now, the Merseyside derby hasn't been really a Merseyside derby, but I think David Moyes going there will want to also prove a point and will want to stop the Liverpool winning streak. So let's see how that's going to go over there. We'll talk about that in subsequent episodes. And there was the last game of the 4th round, which was Manchester City against Manchester United. And there was a baptism of fire. In Ghana, we're going to call it Woto Woto. So Manchester City won this game by 3-0. Goals from Erling Haaland and Phil Foden. Yeah, 2 goals from Erling Haaland and a goal from Phil Foden. Before this game, I predicted a win for Manchester United, but it wasn't to be. Yes, when you look at Ruben Amorim's record, it's very poor. But if you look at some of the wins he have got since he arrived at Manchester United, you realize that it's against the big teams. That is why I predicted a win for Manchester United, because I realized that for Manchester United and Ruben Amorim, he's very poor whenever he's playing against the less known teams. But when he's meeting the big 4, the likes of Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, he likes to prove a point. He likes to go out there to get a win. So I thought he was going to map out a strategy to win this game, but he went with his usual 3-back system, which hasn't been working for some time now. And even after the game, he has made some comments that is really getting some United fans angry, and the hate is really rising now. He's saying that if that is his style, and if they think he's not the right man for the job, he should be sacked. I think Ruben Amorim doesn't have so much time on his hands. Yes, you won the league in Portugal with Sporting Lisbon, but you know, in Portugal, the system of play out there is different. Yes, and this is a different league you are in the Premier League. Even if you're going to play a 3-back system, you should be able to tweak it. There are variations of the 3-back system. You can be playing a 3-back system but still have 4 men in the midfield. I don't think he having 2 men in the midfield is being advantageous to him, because especially playing their main man Bruno Fernandes in the midfield, that leaves room for the opposing team to exploit, because Bruno Fernandes is someone who carries the ball so well. He's good with his crosses, he's good with his final third passes, and playing him as with a 2-man midfield with Ugarte or Casemiro is not going to help him. You are just restricting the player. So I think the problem is coming from Ruben Amorim. He has to vary his tactics. When you look at, let me use Antonio Conte as an example. When he first arrived in England for Chelsea, he was playing a 4-back system, and that was what he knew. He started with that system, and he realized that no, in the game against Arsenal, he was losing by 2 goals or 3 goals, if I stand to be corrected. And he realized that no, I can make some changes here and probably at least keep the game, get a respectable scoreline. He switched to a back 3, and he realized that that is the system that is going to favor the players. So if you have tried one system for a while and it's not working, I don't see why you should still go according to that system and you keep getting beat and beat and beat. After all, it's your record that it's being destroyed. It's your reputation that is being destroyed. You might say the team doesn't belong to you, but you, at the end of the day, this results that you are chanting as a manager, it's going to be on your CV, it's going to be on your resume. And when teams are looking for coaches and they look at this performance, they'll say, no, you are not the right man for the job. So I'm not a tactical person. I'm not a manager. I don't have any coaching license whatsoever. But I think Ruben Amorim can do better. Yes, I think he can do better. Previously, as an opposing fan, as a Chelsea fan, when United loses, we used to laugh at them. We used to tease them. The banter was on and on. But now it seems they have lost to the extent that you can't even laugh at them anymore. You can't even tease them anymore. You can't even make mockery of them anymore, because it's not funny anymore. A team like Manchester United shouldn't be languishing down there. If I look on the league table, they are currently 14th. They have won just one game, which was by sheer luck on the last minute. They've lost two and then drawn one, and I don't think it's a good thing for Manchester United. Their next game is against Chelsea, and I won't be surprised. Don't be surprised if they get a draw or a win against Chelsea. Yes, as I said, Ruben Amorim is noted for winning the big games, but when it comes to the small games, they don't do well. So I'll be surprised if they get a win against Chelsea, and that will also, or at least get a draw against Chelsea, and that is going to buy him more time in the Manchester United job. But I don't think he's doing a very good job over there right now. And unfortunately for Manchester United, I don't see any manager on the market that is going to help them at the moment. I don't see anyone on the market, unless they are going to probably just like what they did to Amorim, where they approached him whilst he was on the job. So I apart from that, I don't see any manager available on the market now. Jose Mourinho has already been there and it wasn't too good, and I don't know who they are going to call on this time to help them calm the storm at Manchester United. All right, so the league table looks like this. You have Liverpool on top with 4 games and then 4 wins. That's 100% record. Their next game is against Everton. We'll look at that in a subsequent episode. You have Arsenal, 4 games, 3 wins, and then a loss. They have scored 9 goals and then conceded 1 with 9 points. You have Tottenham on third. 4 games, 3 wins, a loss, 8 goals conceded 1. You have Bournemouth, 4 games, 3 wins, a loss. You have Chelsea, 4 games, 2 wins, 2 draws. You have Everton, 4 games, 2 wins, a draw and a loss. You have Sunderland, 4 games, 2 wins, a draw and then a loss. And then you have Man City. Man City are 4th on the table, 2 wins and then 2 losses. I'll scroll down. You have Manchester United on the 14th position with a win from 4 games, which is very bad. Ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left the club, it's been shambles. It's been shambles. And this morning I was thinking, is it not what happened to Liverpool some years back that is happening to Manchester United? Because Liverpool, before the Jurgen Klopp won the league for them, was that the COVID league? Yes. They had gone about 20 seasons without a win in the Premier League. They kept on changing managers, changing coaches, changing players and all that, but they couldn't win the league until Jurgen Klopp came in. And during that time, United had not won even 20 Premier Leagues. Then Liverpool had just was it 18 or 19 Premier League titles, and United had less than that. And they were able, throughout Alex Ferguson's era, they were able to close up and even go a step further than Liverpool. And for some reason this morning I was thinking, what happened to Liverpool during the Sir Alex Ferguson era is what is happening to Manchester United right now. I think they are going to be in this turmoil for quite a while. They are going to be in this turmoil for quite a while. They are going to miss the league for the unforeseeable future until they get things right. Probably they will have to change ownership. Yes, the Glazers, I know they sold a portion of their of the ownership to the English billionaire out there, but maybe there will have to be a total overhaul where the whole team is sold, so that the new ownership that comes in will have to start everything afresh. All right, so that is it for the Premier League this weekend, and we are going to look at the German Bundesliga. Yes, the German Bundesliga began on Friday with Bayern Leverkusen, previous winners two seasons ago, winning by 3-1. Then you have Freiburg winning by 3-1 as well. They had a red card in that game. Union Berlin winning by Union Berlin losing at home to TSG Hoffenheim by 4-2. Mainz 05 losing to Leipzig. Yeah, Leipzig, even after losing or after letting go of the new Tottenham winger, that is in the person of, the name just escaped me. Yes, after losing him, they are still going hard. They won that game. And then you have Wolfsburg drawing to Cologne 3-3. There is Dortmund winning 2-0. Bayern Munich winning 5-0. Whoa, that was a smash over there. Winning 5-0 against Hamburg on Saturday. Yes, and you also have St. Pauli winning 2-1 against Augsburg, and then Borussia Mönchengladbach losing at home to Werder Bremen. So on the league log, with 3 games played so far, you have Bayern Munich leading the pack with 3 games and then 3 wins, 14 goals scored so far in the German Bundesliga, and just 2 goals conceded. And their next game is going to be a Champions League game against Chelsea. You see how that's going to go over there. Dortmund coming second, 3 games, they have 2 wins and then a draw. You have Cologne, they have 2 wins from 3 games and then a draw. You have St. Pauli with 3 games, 2 wins and then a draw. And then I'll scroll down to the bottom. You have Hamburg and then Heidenheim with no wins at all. 3 games, not even a single win over there. I'm also going to touch on the Serie A. So in the Serie A, we have Cagliari played against Parma, and Cagliari won 2-0 in that game. Juventus played against Inter. That was a very big game, and Juventus were able to find a win over there by winning by 4-3. That was a slim margin. Fiorentina losing at home to Napoli. Yes, Antonio Conte's Napoli won in that game. Roma haven't been too good lately. They lost at home to Torino at the Olympic Stadium. There is Pisa against Udinese. Udinese won that game by a lone goal. Atalanta won by 4-1. Sassuolo winning by 1-0 against Lazio. I don't know if the former Chelsea coach, the banker, the one who won Chelsea's last Europa League, Mauricio Sarri, I don't know if he's still the manager of SS Lazio. He's also doing good over there, but they lost that game against Sassuolo. Milan, AC Milan, the team I have a soft spot for, also won by a lone goal, a goal scored by Luka Modric in there. And even though they had a red card, they were still able to manage a win at the Milan Stadium. All right, and then currently ongoing, there is a game ongoing between Verona and Cremonese, which is 0-0, which is 42 minutes into the game. And there is also Como is going to play against Genoa in some few hours over there. So on the league log, you have Napoli leading the pack with 3 games and 3 wins, 100% record, 6 goals scored, and then just a single goal conceded. Juventus also, they have 100% record, winning all their 3 games. But when you scroll down to the bottom, you have Pisa, you have Parma, and then you have Lecce. All 3 teams have just drawn a game out of the 3 games that they have played so far. Okay, now let's look at the Spanish La Liga. In the Spanish La Liga, we had some interesting results over there. We had Sevilla drawing 2-2 against Elche. Getafe winning 2-0 against Real Oviedo. They had a red card in that game. Real Sociedad losing to Real Madrid by 2-1. Real Madrid got a red card in that game. Yeah, their new defender from Bournemouth, Dean Hyson, he got red carded in that game. But I hear Real Madrid is going to appeal for that red card because they don't see why that's supposed to be a red card. He wasn't the last man, so there's no reason for that to be given a red card. The referee didn't get a chance to. He didn't go on the VAR to review his decision. The on-field decision, he kept it. So Athletic also lost to Alaves by a 0-0. Atletico Madrid lost to Villarreal. So Villarreal lost by 2 goals to Atletico Madrid at the Wanda Metropolitano. And then there was also Celta Vigo drawing 1-1 to Girona. There was Levante against Betis, which also ended in a stalemate 2-2. There was Osasuna against Rayo Vallecano. Osasuna winning that game by 2-0. Barcelona without Yamin Lamau getting 6 goals in there. Yeah, Fermin Lopez, the player Chelsea was after, got a brace in that game. So Barcelona winning there by 6-0, even without Yamin Lamau. So on the log in the Spanish La Liga, you have Real Madrid having 100% record, and I think Marcos Alonso is doing a good job over there. He's quietly doing his job. Like, he doesn't want all the gimmicks. He's not all about the PR. He's quietly doing his job, and I won't be surprised if he repeats what he did in Germany with Bayern Leverkusen here in Spain. Not that he's going to get do an unbeaten, where Real Madrid will go the whole season unbeaten, but I will not be surprised if he clinches the league in Spain. So they have 4 wins out of 4 possible games in the end. Mbappe is also doing the work this season. Yes, he's quietly grinding the goals from game to game. So you have Barcelona winning 3 games out of 4 and then drawing 1. They've scored 13 goals so far and then they've conceded 3. You have Getafe in there with 3 wins out of 4 games and then losing 1. And they've scored 6 goals and conceded 4 so far. Atletico Bilbao have won 3 out of 4 and then they've lost 1 game. They scored 6 goals and conceded 4. Down the bottom, you have Levante down there, 4 games. They've only drawn 1 and then lost the 3 games. Mallorca, out of the 3 games, so Mallorca have a game in hand. They have drawn 1 and then lost 2. And then Girona have drawn 1 game and then they have lost 3. So that's a wrap up of the games that happened over the weekend, and we are looking forward to, there is European football this midweek tomorrow and then on Wednesday, and in the subsequent edition we are going to do a preview on some of the games that are going to happen in Europe. We are going to look at the possible lineups, the possible results that's going to happen in some of these games. We have some big games and some crunchy games like that of the Chelsea versus Bayern Munich, yes, at the Alliance Arena. So Bayern Munich will be hosting Chelsea. The last time I remember Bayern Munich hosted Chelsea at the Alliance Arena was if I am right, that was when Frank Lampard was the head coach of Chelsea and they took them there. I think it was during COVID era, and then Chelsea were well beaten. But this time around, the dynamics have changed. Both teams have new managers, very young managers. Bayern Munich in the person of Vincent Kompany, the former Manchester City player who most recently was the coach of Burnley. And also you also have Enzo Maresca in there, the Italian tactician who previously was the manager of Leicester City, and that's going to be a very crunchy, a spicy game during the midweek. So We're going to catch you on the next episode. This has been Ralph on VAR, where we do football preview, we do football analysis, post-game preview, pre-game analysis, we do banter, we talk about interviews of some managers and some players, what is said and what is being said out of the pitch. We discuss all that. And don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe and put us on post notification. Don't forget to also share so that we grow the community. If you watch the first episode, I told you with the upcoming World Cup, we are going to be visiting some of the venues and we are going to be bringing you live coverage. We are going to be having interviews with fans in the stadium. And if possible, if we can get accreditation, we can even go into the presses and then speak to some of the coaches and then some of the managers. And we are going to bring you a 360 of the World Cup right here in Canada, and if possible, in Mexico, and then in the United States of America. This has been Ralph on VAR. Thank you for tuning in. Catch you on the next episode.